Moments like these never get old, especially, as you know, Tom Levin, you celebrate a career like that of Chipper Jones.
No, they don't. I mean, you sitting here, I kind of conjures up some of the memories I went through a couple years ago. But I think even for me, you kind of forget sometimes that this is really it for Chipper. And I think this is the first time for me, having been a teammate and now a broadcaster and a fan, obviously, it's like, oh my gosh, this is it. It's over. I mean, it's coming to an end. And I think this is the first time it kind of really hit me. So, it's a great night, well-deserved. And, the thing that I really like, I just continue to like the chemistry that I see between Chipper and his teammates. It almost seems like there's at times in a very fun way that disconnect between the old guy and the young guys. And when some of these guys say, "Oh, Chipper, I grew up watching you," they really did. Right. But they have fun with that, and they embrace that. Chipper seems to love it, and there really does seem to be a camaraderie with these guys, and I know they would like nothing more than to send him out with a championship.
They showed the video of the announcement that he was going to retire in spring training, and all of his teammates were there down at Disney World, and I think I was doing pretty good until I watched that and how much it affected Chipper and how hard it was for him to say that this was it. But there wasn't anybody there, teammate-wise, that even blinked. They were so into what he had to say and all kind of down in the mouth about it as well. And I think they're going to be even more down in the mouth about it next spring when they look around and he's not there. Yeah, no doubt about it. It is really the end of an incredible era in professional sports. All those championships that certainly ring the upper deck in left field here at Turner Field. Chipper Jones is the last man standing from all of those great Braves teams. And how appropriate is it that Chipper Jones is going to the playoffs one more time with a chance for a second World Championship here in Atlanta? Let's hear from Chipper Jones himself as he talks about his Braves career tonight.
To all you fans out there in Braves country, to you guys that are here tonight, to the people who are listening on radio, to the people who are watching on TV, I have thoroughly enjoyed the last 20 years for 3 hours every night trying to entertain you guys. And my goal each and every night is to do something to bring each and every one of you out of your seats, out of your sofas, out of your love seats at home. That's just the way I was built. I've received so many great emails, texts, phone calls, tweets throughout the last few months, well wishes. I love each and every one of you. We all love each and every one of you. We come out here, we play this game for each and every one of you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. You will never be forgotten. Thank you very, very much.
How great is it that Chipper Jones thanks the fans the way that he thanked them? I think that's awesome. Well, and he should. I mean, he's been one of the, if not the most popular Atlanta Brave, certainly right up there with Dale Murphy and Hank Aaron. But I think if you polled these fans here tonight, he's probably top of the list.
Yeah, you're right. He's got the great opportunity, like we said, to announce his retirement, go out with a great season, and at the same time have the opportunity to thank everybody around him for all the support that they've given him over the years, and not too many people get that opportunity. So the pregame ceremonies have concluded here in Atlanta. For those of you watching on Fox Sports South in Metro Atlanta, turn your channels over to Peachtree TV. That's where you'll see the game in Metro Atlanta. In the outlying areas, the game will be on Fox Sports South as well. Chipper Jones night is underway in Atlanta. The big series with the Mets starts right after this. They got him. Chipper Jones takes the field by himself and a tip of the cap as we welcome you to Friday Night Braves baseball on Peachtree TV, presented by Blimpie. And I guarantee you Tim Hudson had something to do with that. You know he did. So all the pregame pomp is taken care of. Now the circumstance starts, because you've got an important game coming up for the Braves against the Mets. The Braves start play tonight, still 4 games behind the Nationals in the National League East.
And the Mets playing good baseball of late. They've won 6 of their last 7 games, and one reason why, the top of their order. Tejada, Murphy, and Wright are all hot hitters for Terry Collins Ball Club over the last week. Mike Davis leads their club in home runs. Scott Hairston's in center field. Lucas Duda, Mike Baxter, Josh Thole, and left-hander Jonathan Neese will pitch and hit ninth.
And for the Braves, right-hander Tim Hudson takes the mound, making his 28th start on the year, 16-6 on the season. You see his last 6 starts at Turner Field, 5-1 with a 2.09 ERA. He's been pitching very well here at Turner Field of late, and let's look for that to continue.
And his 4 keys to pitching success. You figure him to be near the top of the rotation, if not first or second in the postseason for the Braves in October. This is more than just a tune-up for that. Braves 4 games back with 6 to play against the Washington Nationals in the division title. So got to try to keep winning and hope that somehow Washington stubs their toe. And some first inning improvement. We've been talking for the last several months about issues trying to get out of the first inning for Tim Hudson. Well, lo and behold, he has not given up a first inning run in either of his last 2 starts.
And his last start was magnificent against the Phillies. Just 2 hits in 7 innings and a third. And against the Mets, Tim 15-9. That's the most wins against any opponent in Hudson's major league career. So again, you like your chances. But as I said a moment ago, fellas, these are a different bunch of Mets than the last time we saw them up in New York. They're playing good ball right now.
Yeah, they've rebounded from a real bad skid at home where they had won 4 out of 28 games after the All-Star break, but they've won 6 of their last 7.
And this will be some motivation for them to try and eliminate the Braves from that divisional title contention. So they'll be playing hard tonight and all weekend.
Chipper gets the first chance of the game, and he makes it. It's almost as if it were scripted,
well,
right?
Either that or he's thinking that would have been a great way to start the night with a boot because of that in-between hop.
He was smiling as he caught that ball.
Okay, got that one out of the way.
And here's Daniel Murphy, Mets second baseman, hitting .294 for the year with 6 homers and 65 RBIs. Murphy having a terrific September, hitting .346 this month. And he always seems to pick up a big hit or 2 against the Braves whenever they match up in a series with the Mets. Hudson ahead of him, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Murphy, a bit of a rarity among offensive players for this New York club as he rolls to second. Uggla's got it, makes the play. He's been a better hitter at home than on the road. Most of the Mets offensive players are the exact opposite for some reason. But he's an easy second out in this opening inning tonight. Here's a look at the Braves defensive lineup. Still no Michael Bourne. Reed Johnson gets the start in center field with the left-hander on the mound. Standard infield alignment. And David Ross gives Brian McCann the night off behind the plate.
In that most recent start at Philadelphia, Tim Hudson got his 2-seamer back. He had some real good life on it inside all those left-handed hitters for the Phillies, and he was very effective. Only 2 hits, as you said, Chipper. I just thought I'd throw that one in there.
Wow, thanks.
Since Bobby was calling Chipper Chip, I just thought I'd go ahead and lay that one on you.
No balls, 2 strikes. And Tim Hudson breezes through the first inning. 8 pitches for Hudson. The Braves this year 10-5 against the Mets. They've beaten them 5 of 6 times here at Turner Field. Here's how Freddie Gonzalez lines up the 91-win Braves tonight. Reed Johnson leads off. Prado, Hayward, and Chipper Jones the cleanup man. Freddie Freeman, Dan Uggla, David Ross, shortstop Andrelton Simmons hits 8th, Hudson 9th, and a tough customer on the mound for New York tonight.
Left-hander Jonathan Niese on the mound tonight. 12-9 on the year. 12 wins are a career high. He's been pretty good of late. Last 7 starts, 4-3 with a 2.5 ERA. 7 straight quality starts. So he's been throwing the ball well, even though he's only won 4 of those 7 starts.
His 4 keys to pitching success tonight: he's had excellent command, only 14 walks in his last 13 starts, and just 46 out of 183 innings on the year. But he needs some help. He and R.A. Dickey have been a good 1-2 punch.
To short, Tejada gets a friendly hop and takes care of Johnson. 1 out.
They need some other guys to step up for their rotation beginning next year. Of course, Mike Pelfrey had to undergo Tommy John surgery, but between the 2 of them, a lefty and a righty, the knuckleballer and the lefty here, they've got the makings of the start of a good rotation. They just need some of the young guys to really step up.
And an old-timer, too, in Johan Santana. They hope he comes back from his arm issues. Dylan G., who had that artery problem in his pitching shoulder, he's begun to play catch a bit, so he's encouraged and may be back next year as well for New York. Martin Prado, the batter, a 5-game hit streak for the Braves left fielder. Prado hitting .305 for the season. Fly ball to left. Lucas Duda should have no trouble. He's got it. 2 down. Duda's in left, Hairston's in center, Mike Baxter's in right. That's the Mets outfield tonight. Corner men are David Wright, Ike Davis, Murphy and Tejada up the middle, and Josh Thole is the New York catcher. Jason Hayward's had good luck against Jonathan Niese. Hayward 7 for 17 with a couple of homers against the Mets lefty. Let's see if he can reach and give Chipper a chance to hit in the game's first inning. Liner toward left, and it will get down. First standing O for Chipper. And look at all the flash bulbs.
You know he's going to do something special, don't you? I mean, bobblehead night, birthday, whatever the occasion, he always seems to do something special on big nights.
Into the club level foul, strike 1. Chipper hitting .309 this year from the right side of the plate, .292 overall. Tommy, is it tough being on the mound and not get caught up in the ceremony and the man being honored at being in the batter's box?
Yeah, it is a little bit, but you also have that feeling that Joe just had that he's going to do something special.
Chopped up the middle, and Tejada will make the throw to first in time, and that retires the side. The Braves get the game's first hit, and we move to inning number 2 with no score.
How much does it cost to cut an energy bill down to size? Or get the yard ready for cool weather? The answer? A lot less. The Great American Fix-Up is going on now, with new projects every week and big savings every day. So you can do what needs to be done today. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Right now, Owens Corning EcoTouch attic insulation is only $11.87 a roll.
We're thinking about this or the Honda Odyssey next door.
This one.
But the Odyssey has the best resale value in its class, according to KBB.com.
I wouldn't put too much value on cyber opinions.
And the Odyssey Touring is the most fuel-efficient 8-passenger minivan.
I wouldn't put too much value on things like that either.
It's actual research.
They'll give anybody a blog these days.
We'll see you later.
The Odyssey from Honda. Named most trusted brand in America by KBB.com. Only a Honda is a Honda.
There are many reasons why Jamieson Inn has been ranked #1 in customer satisfaction nationwide year after year. Like large modern rooms with big premium beds and new gourmet coffee makers. It's all you expect at an unexpectedly low price. But what really separates us from everyone else is our unparalleled, genuine, friendly service that always comes with a smile.
Enjoy your stay.
Discover even more value at JamiesonInns.com. Jamieson Inn, Southern hospitality at its best.
Peachtree TV. The Braves play here.
Like that sign an awful lot.
Here, here. Where's the ballot box?
You know, to borrow a line from one of my favorite commercials, I mean, how long are they going to worship this guy? I mean, my goodness.
Well, what a great crowd here tonight. It's a sellout. They've been selling standing room tickets for the last 2 weeks. In fact, standing room all weekend expected.
Yeah, it's a good crowd. Good to see. Good for Chipper, good for the fans, and certainly good for this team, for this atmosphere.
Foul ball off the bat of first baseman Ike Davis, the Mets leader in homers with 31 of them. 89 RBIs for Ike, but a .224 batting average.
Kind of like John Buck, he's come a long way. He was sub 200 for a lot of the year, and 19 of those 31 homers have been hit since the All-Star break.
That ball's hooked foul off the base of the tarp, and Davis behind. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ground ball up the middle and past Dan Uggla. So Ike Davis has the first New York hit, and he's aboard for Scott Hairston, the New York center fielder.
They had a shift on for him, but they didn't have a full-blown shift that would have taken that hit away. They just had Chipper and Anderson really moved up the middle. Chipper was way off the line and had Uggla a couple of steps to his left, and that opened up a little bit of an opening. You can see the guys on the left side, how far they're cheated up there, but right in between the bag and Uggla.
Scott Hairston hits and takes an high strike. Hairston with a 19 homer season. And fouled away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
When we've gone to New York, we've talked about how big their ballpark was. They've moved the fences in. It's been a little better for the Mets offensively, but compared to the road, not really. 349 runs scored on the road versus 287 at home, and they've played 6 games fewer on the road right now than they have at home. Home runs about the same. Average with runners in scoring position much better on the road.
And Hairston certainly falls into line with that stat, as Hudson just missed a corner. Hairston 223 at home, 306 away from Citi Field. And pops one up toward Dan Uggla at second. He's got that measured up and makes the play. 1 on, 1 out.
Fans, in honor of Chipper Jones night, the Braves will be auctioning off 3 game-used commemorative Chipper bases and the on-deck circle from the game, as well as an autographed baseball. You can own a piece of Braves history. Visit braves.com/chipper to bid now. How about that? Bases and a on-deck circle. Like it.
On-deck circles are pretty cool.
Here's Lucas Duda. Ball inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Davis almost shocked that Hudson bothered to throw to first. He doesn't run very well. Almost caught him napping. 1 ball, no strikes. Very early in our ball game in Atlanta at the 8 o'clock hour. The game started just a few minutes late with the Chipper Jones pregame ceremonies. Hudson got the Mets 1-2-3 in the first. He's allowed his first base hit. Mike Davis at first with 1 out here. And now 2-1 to Duda.
Their outfield's been a big disappointment. Jason Bay hasn't been able to put the numbers that they expected him to, and they signed him as a free agent a couple of years ago. Duda actually was sent back to AAA because he was scuffling so bad at the beginning of the season. And Angel Torres, who they got from the Giants, has had nowhere near the year that Angel Pagan has had, who went the other way for San Francisco. So not much production out of those 3 spots this year for New York.
Wonder if that'll be on their shopping list in the offseason, either via trade or free agency, to add some pop or some speed in that outfield. Dangerous pitch to a man with some pop in the batter's box. Lucas Duda, 3-1 count. And right at Andrelton Simmons, who will start a double play. No runs, 1 hit, and nobody left.
No, I'm a big fan of Chipper Jones. Always have been. Yeah, you talk about someone who will grind through injury, find a way to get back out there to support his team. You know, it seems like he's the glue of the Braves right now because he's the elder spokesperson, but yet you can always see the passion that he has for the game. And I admire someone like that. And, you know, in his retirement, you know, he's going to have to find some substitute for that. I'm pretty sure he will. I don't know if he plays golf or that his aspiration is to own a team or whatever, but either way, he has a fan in Michael Jordan. I totally support and very happy for Chipper Jones.
That's awesome. That's pretty cool.
That was.
One thing I can guarantee you, he's not going to be riding a minor league bus like Michael did when he finished playing pro basketball.
If he is, it's not going to be a very long trip.
Yeah. Fouled back by Freddie Freeman. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I don't think he rode too many of the trips in spring training, so.
No.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I think he went to Kissimmee a lot.
Yeah.
One ball, 2 strikes to Freddie Freeman, starting the Braves second. And he hits one a long way toward left. Duda going back at the warning track, at the wall, has just enough room. Freddie just missed, but is out number 1.
Another good swing off a left-hander and a tough lefty. Freddie's gearing up.
And so is Dan Uggla. Dan hitting .288 over the last 19 games with 13 RBIs.
I brought up to Greg Walker today the comment I made last night about how it seems like Dan's on top of the baseball more. He's not popping up as much, not quite as much of an uppercut. And he said that part of that would be due to Dan getting his hands ready sooner. You know, he's always had a kind of a waggle and liked to do a little waggle right before he made his stride. Well, he's gotten him to kind of calm his hands down a little bit sooner so that his hands are in a better position to cut it loose. And he also said a little better weight shift to his front foot that's keeping him from falling back and not quite so much of an uppercut. Hooked one for a double last night and hit the ball hard another time to short. Had plate coverage here when he dumped that one in with the bases loaded.
So a 3 RBI night for Uggla last evening. And now a full count with the bases empty and 1 out in the second. What's exciting about Uggla is if he's starting to hit the ball with authority, you also know how patient he's been at the plate this year. Uggla has walked 91 times. To make it 92 as David Ross stands in.
And again, this guy doesn't walk many people. He just walked 1 in his 6+ innings against Miami, his last start. That's only the 15th walk in his last 14 starts.
All season long, Braves baseball on Peachtree TV is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price every day.
You know, and to that point, you know, when he's swinging the bat well, and you know he's a home run threat, it's going to cause pitchers to be a little bit more cautious with him. He's going to get his walks, and as we all know, in the playoffs, a walk is a rally.
Yes,
you got something going, so that's a big deal.
David Ross skies 1 foul out of place. Strike 1 to the Braves catcher. David had 2 hits and scored a run last night. A little concerned though about that side in the final game against the Marlins.
I asked him about that today, and it is still bothering him some and does affect him when he's running.
But he's good to go against Nice. Perhaps Brian McCann will be ready to go tomorrow. And maybe Michael Bourne as well before the end of the weekend against the Mets.
Yeah, sure would be nice to see Michael get a couple games under his belt before the Braves get into the playoffs.
Yeah, we have a very cautious, safe approach to getting him back in there, and a wise one.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
Didn't you hate making that pitch and not getting the call?
Absolutely.
Have the middle of the plate, split the plate, but just a fraction low. Here's the pitch before that I was talking about.
Yeah, when you're ahead in the count right there, you want to throw something that's enticing enough, and hopefully is called a strike. If not, at least get the guy to get the hitter to swing at it.
David chased that ball off the plate, and that's the first strikeout for Nice.
So this thing with the turtlenecks or the nerdlenecks, is Chipper called them. I guess he was responsible for everyone's attire tonight. Is that right?
Sounded like it.
Yeah.
Andrelton Simmons bats with Uggla still at first.
I'm told the players did it to honor Chipper.
Yeah. So I think they've at least got the newer dry fit material. I think Chipper's still the old school heavy cotton.
Maybe even wool.
It might be.
Pretty good chance, right? 1 ball, 1 strike. Andrelton picked up a couple of hits last night. Braves got 4 runs in the 4th inning, 2 runs in the 7th inning. And beat Miami 6-2.
I believe this might be Andrelton's first game against the Mets. I think due to when he was called up, it didn't fit in with when the Braves were playing the Mets. He was hurt when they reconnected with New York. For the first time he's seen them all year, and they've seen him.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Nice has had to work. The Braves have been doing that to opposing starters in the early innings. This will be his 33rd pitch of the night. And that one in the dirt. Uggla will be running with a full count.
They're not going to play behind him. They're going to hold him on. So Dan's got to make sure he doesn't get picked off here.
There he goes, and Simmons grounds to deep short. Long throw to Hada, and late. Infield hit for Simmons. 2-1, 2 out.
And with the runner moving, Tejada knew he didn't have a play at second base. And too long a throw to get Andrelton.
That's a heck of a play to make it as close as it was.
Yeah. That's on AstroTurf. That might be an out.
So now a good hitting pitcher can help himself. Tim Hudson has 6 RBIs. This one hit toward David Wright, however. And he'll make the peg to first to retire the side. No runs. 1 hit, 2 left. To the 3rd we go. Still no score. Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you in part by Academy Sports and Outdoors, by AT&T, and by Ford. Joe Simpson, Tom Glavine, Chip Carey, and our crew with you from a sold-out Turner Field. No score as we head to the 3rd inning. Chipper Jones had the first defensive chance of the ball game. He grounded out to short in the 1st inning. And this is how Chipper and the Braves were greeted before first pitch.
He realized when he ran out on the field that nobody else was running out there with him, and then he got challenged right away with a tough hop.
So Mike Baxter leads off for New York. Josh Thole, then Jonathan Nies. And a strike to Baxter. Hudson has thrown strike one to 6 of the first 7 Mets he's seen tonight. And a ground ball will get into right field.
I think Freddie'd like to do that one over again.
I gotta say, I think there was a little either a misread there or he didn't see it off the bat. I think he might have thought that ball was more towards Uggla than it was.
Dan was a long way from the hole, and that was a ball Freddie gave up on right away, maybe anticipating Dan playing more to pull.
So here's Josh Thole. He has not been a hot Met hitter. 163 is his average since July 31st, and included in that stretch an 0 for 30 dry spell at the plate. He's going to line to short, and that's the first out.
I don't care what the reason is. Anytime you get to see Anderson show off his arm, I'm all in.
A modern day Sean Dunston. So the pitcher bats. And like Tim Hudson, Nies has done a good job at the plate this year.
Hits, 6 sacrifices.
One ball, no strikes. We'll keep an eye on all the scores around the big leagues, especially in the National League tonight. Washington is in St. Louis, a big 3-game series starting with the Cardinals this evening. And Nies lays down a bunt, and that's a foul ball. And here's our Subway Surprise on the line. Let's take a look at the standings. It's the wild card chase. St. Louis trying to solidify its position over the Dodgers, and frankly the Braves are big Cardinal fans right now because they still think they can catch Washington.
Right, and since the Braves have already clinched home field advantage in a wild card game. Has Chris Carpenter pitched again since that outing he had last Friday?
Don't know the answer to that. I believe Wainwright's going tonight.
Yeah, I kept looking and I thought maybe I missed it, but and he pitched real well.
There's the punt. David Ross tells Hudson to fire to first, and he does. Baxter to second on the sacrifice. And that scored 1-3. Kyle Lohse is scheduled, at least as far as the Major League stats say, to pitch tomorrow for the Cardinals. So we'll do some checking and see when Carpenter's ready to go next.
Gretchen did look it up, and he did pitch Wednesday against Houston and took the loss.
Really?
Yeah, 6 innings, 4 runs, 2 earned.
But it's still really spring training for Chris Carpenter, or at least April, as far as the arm's concerned.
Yeah, that's kind of the unknown factor. You don't know. You don't know how he's going to respond over time, and how much you're banking on him on reputation versus what he's actually doing right now.
Downstairs to Ruben Tejada, the Mets leadoff man. Hit that awkward ground ball to Chipper Jones to start the game. Has been a hot hitter, a 9-game hitting streak working.
Yeah, hitting .417 over his last 10 games. their offense has really picked up the pace during this stretch where they've started to win a few more games.
Especially in situations like this, runners in scoring position, a drastic improvement for New York. And Hudson buzzes the tower inside. 3 balls, no strikes.
First 3-0 count for Tim tonight. Their last 7 games, they've won 6 out of 7, averaging over 5 runs a game. Much better numbers with runners in scoring position, and had gone just 1-11 over the last 12 games prior to this good stretch.
That's over the inside corner. I'm sure the Mets are just happy to be out of their home park. They really struggled. 9-25 in their last 34 games at home.
Yeah, they're only 3 games under 500 on the road. 36-39.
Simmons at short. Fast runner. Loads up. Freeman the stretch. And Tim Hudson pitches around a leadoff single. Top of the Braves order coming up, looking for the game's first run. Applebaum has blown 3 saves this year. 2 of those 3 have come on the road.
Their best against your best in the clutch.
If Chipper launches one, this place will go crazy. Swing, high fly ball, belted right center, and the Braves have won it!
Thank you to all these fans for sticking around and believing in us. For those that left, shame on you. You missed a great one.
One of many incredible moments for Chipper Jones in this 2012 season. And then, of course, our Zaxby's indescribably good play.
I don't know if the fans went crazy like you said, but you sure did.
I pretty much came unglued.
I was doing my Chris Medlin cha-cha back here.
Hey, Eddie Perez was a little upset that we were showing their dance the other night.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. That's what I said. He said, why you guys showing the bullpen? Why are you showing my dance? I said, because it was funny. Oh, okay.
He works all day long to be funny, and then when he is.
Some people just can't be made happy, right, Tom?
Exactly.
Downstairs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Washington scored in the first inning again. Boy, they've been getting off to great starts. They tally a run against Adam Wainwright, who has really struggled the last couple of times out for the Cardinals.
No let up on their part.
And if I'm not mistaken, their magic number to clinch the division's 3. A combination of Washington wins and Braves losses would give the Nationals the East. They've already clinched a playoff spot, obviously. But with 6 games left, the Braves are 4 behind them, still with hope. Need some help from the Cardinals. The Braves have to take care of their own business with New York.
If you recall, during the season, the Nationals were very good at scoring in the first inning against the Braves and putting them behind the 8 ball.
Two balls, 2 strikes. And a pop fly foul by Reed Johnson, who will stay alive.
Good at bat.
He'll see a 9th pitch. He'll now see a 10th, and if Neese continues to see high pitch counts, an impressive run might come to an end for him. He's thrown 6 innings or more in 19 consecutive outings for New York.
That's pretty impressive.
And his next pitch will be the 45th of the game. Now the crowd's starting to appreciate this Reed Johnson 3rd inning at bat.
Away.
These are the at-bats that drive you crazy as a pitcher. Just thinking, all right, already, do something. Let's go. Get a hit. Make an out.
It's a standing room only crowd. You got to get them all a ball.
Oh, I hope not, because we'll be here a while.
Did you ever tell the catcher, tell him I'm throwing him a fastball, so there's no guessing involved?
No, but I don't think I was outsmarting too many guys out there, to be honest with you. But
too short. And Tejada will make the play. Neese wins the 3rd inning matchup with Reed Johnson. 1 out. Want to remind viewers to come out this Tuesday at 7 to Twin Peaks in Buckhead for a Braves viewing party. That's this Tuesday at 7 o'clock in Buckhead at Twin Peaks. The Braves will battle the Pittsburgh Pirates at PNC Park. Final 3 road games in regular season play. A strike to Martin.
There are a lot of good things that go along with playing at home and advantages for various teams. But did you find it, Tom, to be an advantage, let's say an extended season in the postseason, pitching at home because you're comfortable on your mound and your surroundings?
Absolutely. I know that, you know, over the years, Ed Mangan was so good and his crew with talking to the pitchers, talking to us guys. Hey, what do you like about the mound? What don't you like about the mound? Certain things that you know, he would try to incorporate for each guy. So you knew every time you went out on our mound, you were going to be comfortable and that wasn't going to be an issue. And that's not always the case in a lot of ballparks.
Fly ball center. Hairston gives ground. 2 outs. Well, the Braves say they're going to play their A lineup and keep their pitchers in rotation until they can't win the division. That means we hope that final Wednesday game will be an incredibly important game against the Pittsburgh Pirates. If not, Freddie Gonzalez said before the game you might see Delgado, Tehran, maybe even Ben Sheets pitch in one of those final games against the Pirates.
Yeah, I guess the most interesting thing, like we've talked about, is what do you do with Huddy? Because that's going to be his turn. You certainly have to not only have to be mindful of him pitching game 1 of the next series if you're fortunate to get there, but you've also probably got to hold him in reserve in case something ever happened to Medlin the day of the game, if he got sick or did whatever. So Huddy's going to be in a little bit of a odd situation there.
Well, Freddie did today intimate as well the way he would set up his roster for the wild card game. 3 starting pitchers, 15 position players. And the reason you can stack it in such a way is after every round you can reshuffle your roster. Yeah, since it's a 1-game shootout, you don't need to carry 5 starters that day.
It makes sense. You've got that one guy in case something happens to the guy who's supposed to start. And then you've got another guy you could use if you get into extra innings or something like that.
3 up, 3 down for Jonathan Neese. Good ball game in Atlanta. Still no score. Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you in part by McDonald's, by AT&T Uverse, and by the Georgia Lottery. Hits are even and no score heading to the 4th inning tonight. Tim Hudson breezed through the 1st inning.
Very creative signs tonight. I especially like the one, "Thank you, Todd Van Poppel." I thought that was wonderful.
Daniel Murphy leads off and sprays one foul. It is interesting to think about how different the history of the Braves franchise might have been had Todd Van Poppel decided he would have signed with the Braves that year.
Yeah, I tell you, I mean, I was in the organization then, obviously, and I remember being so offended that somebody would think, if they draft me, I'm not signing with them. Turned out pretty good.
There's the sign. That's my favorite. That's the leader in the clubhouse right now. You know, Bobby Cox, though, you talked to him about it, and he says the Braves had their eye on Chipper all along, despite what Ben Poppel said about whether he would sign or not. They still liked, Bobby says, we still like Chipper best.
Well, maybe that just confirmed in their own minds that Chipper was the guy instead of Van Poppel, all things being equal. Inside corner, Murphy is retired on strikes. Is that two-seamer, Joe, you were talking about?
It is indeed.
Is that two-seam sinker that he starts off the plate, brings it back over the plate? And I remember, Joe, you're right. I didn't see his last start, but the one before that he had here, that was a pitch that he seemed to be having trouble with. Wasn't able to put guys away when he got to that 2-strike count. But that pitch right there was a beauty.
He had a good one in Philadelphia, his last start.
So while Chipper Jones, the face of the Braves franchise, might say the same about their third baseman, David Wright, the all-time Mets franchise hit leader.
Passed Ed Kranepool, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And for David Wright, a marvelous season. A .309 average, good for 6th in the league, 21 homers, and a team-high 91 RBIs. And a pop fly into shallow right. That's out number 2. Big question for the Mets. What will happen with David Wright? Will he remain in New York, or will he head to free agency? I believe there's an option on his contract for next year.
Be okay. I'd be okay with him coming here.
Yeah, there'll be an opening, but I can't imagine them letting him get out of town.
No, I can't either. Like I say, he's come to be the Chipper Jones or Derek Jeter of their organization, and it would be one thing to lose Jose Reyes. It'd be another thing to lose David.
Davis grounds to Simmons. The Braves adjusted their infield alignment, and Andrelton had no trouble getting Davis. 3 up, 3 down in the 4th inning. Chipper Jones, speaking of him, he'll lead off the Braves 4th in a scoreless game.
He said I got a nice face, and I was like, man, is he hitting on me here, you know? But
he didn't. He's got bad eyes.
I didn't know what the good face comment meant. Now that I've been in baseball for a long time, I know what the good face means, and that means you can walk out and see a team on the baseball field and look at how guys carry themselves and tell which guys out there are the players, and that's what the good face means. And he said from day one that he saw me at Bowles High School in Jacksonville that I had a good face, and certainly put me on his radar.
He rolls out to the pitcher, Jonathan Neese, to start the 4th inning. And Chipper 0 for 2 tonight. That is the thing about this game, fellas, is it not? The players really identify themselves pretty quickly.
Oh, they do. There's no question about it. I mean, it doesn't take long for the trained eye to pick up on those sorts of things.
How about Chipper? I thought he was hitting on me. He's got a good fit. What does that mean? Here's Freddie Freeman with the bases empty. He chased Lucas Duda to the wall back in the second inning. High towering fly ball to right. Baxter back. Track wall. Goodbye. 1-0.
Just missed one last time up, remember. He backed Duda up to the left field wall. He is zeroing in on these lefties. That's only the 4th home run allowed by Nice to a lefty this year.
And that was one of those majestic moonshot kind of home runs. The only question was, did he hit it too high?
Baxter was trying to get in the stands and wait for it to come down.
'23 homers, 94 RBIs for Freeman now, and that's his 5th home run of the year against the Mets. And the Braves have given Hudson a 4th inning lead.
5th homer and his 18th RBI against them.
Uggla smokes one up the middle. Nice wonders how he didn't catch it.
See, I think this swing right now for Dan Uggla, like the double he hit last night, a hard ground ball he hit the left side last night, and evidence right here of a line shot back through the middle. Those are the type swings that are going to lead to more homers as we get into the postseason, because he's on top of the baseball and will create some more backspin.
Yeah, you're right. And even that bloop base hit that he got last night a month ago, he doesn't stay on that ball long enough to hit it far enough to get a base hit.
Dan's heating up. Freeman's heating up. David Ross hitting for the 2nd time tonight. He struck out in the 2nd. Like that first inning, Edwin Jackson's the man on the mound for Washington. And he's not out of the first yet. He's walked in 2 runs in that opening frame. Again, if the Cardinals can win tonight, if the Braves can win tonight, the Braves would be 3 behind Washington with 5 games to play.
Not going away.
Nope.
By the way, that home run by Freddie, his 2nd of the year off Nice. So 4 homers to lefties, 2 to Freddie.
Well, that's going to be awfully important, I think, for the Braves in postseason play. You know, clubs are going to try to load up with lefties in their bullpens to try to neutralize the Haywards, the McCanns, and the Freddie Freemans in the middle of this lineup. Those guys can do their share of damage. This will be an awfully tough Braves lineup to retire.
Tommy, I remember in '91 you guys talking about how when you had an advantage because the Braves were still in the National League West at that time. So you're playing early games and putting a lot of pressure on the Dodgers because you're winning, and then they know you've already won, so they got to win, and that's a little added pressure. The same thing happened in, was it '93 when you guys were chasing the Giants down? You'd already posted a score.
Yeah, it's always good if you can post that score and let the other team see it when they're either taking the field or in the process of them taking the field, and even in the middle of their game. And you're absolutely right. Puts a little bit more pressure on them to feel like, uh-oh, we got to keep pace.
After David Ross struck out looking, Andrelton Simmons bats. He legged out an infield hit his first time up. Hit it to deep short. Tejada made a great acrobatic play and made a close play. But Simmons beat the ramp at first. Strike one.
He's got away with a mistake there. Change up, it looked like.
No balls, 2 strikes. Tejada at short, flips to second in time, and that ends the Braves' bottom of the 4th inning. But Freddie Freeman launches one deep into the seats. And the sellout crowd at Turner Field delighted at that. 1-0 Braves as we head to inning number 5.
Freddie Freeman puts the Braves on top 1-0. We go to the top of the 5th. Time for our Georgia Power Energy Tip. I'm going to give you 2 guesses. Guess what number it is tonight, but you got to watch the video. What would you say?
I would say it's probably number 7.
Hey!
Hey now!
Winner! Mickey Mantle, one of the other great all-time switch hitters and one of Chipper's idols and his dad's idol. Energy Tip. Number 7 tonight. Change your air filters regularly to help your heating and cooling system run more efficiently. And now we got to get that off there. Number 7.
That tip was as fast as Mickey Mantle ran. One of your favorites too, wasn't he?
You bet. He was an Okie, that's why. He was everybody's favorite in Oklahoma.
Scott Hairston leads off the 5th for New York. And Chipper versus Mickey Mantle.
The only switch hitters in baseball history with an on-base percentage of over 400, slugging over 500. And homers, as you see, and RBIs. Those guys, those 2 guys with those numbers, the only 2 that have accomplished the on-base, the slugging.
Fly ball to right. Hayward's going to track that down. One away in the 5th.
And the 400 homers. That's good company. You know?
I would say it's better than good company.
Yeah. Take a picture of that and hang that on your wall.
Yeah.
Well, how about when you think about passing guys on hit lists like Luke Gehrig, Billy Williams? I mean, those are names that Chipper's already moved beyond this season. Many, many more. More extra base hits than Pete Rose and Mickey Mantle for switch hitters. As Lucas Duda tries to split the gap, Reed Johnson cuts it off, and Duda's aboard with a 1-out hit. Chipper, our SunTrust solid performer. That's his career. And as John Schuerholz and Pete Van Wieren, I believe it was Pete, I beg your pardon, before the game in the pregame ceremony said, a 300 or better batting average from both sides of the plate.
Yeah. Wasn't it great to see Pete here?
Oh, man. Looks great.
Great to have him at the ballpark, him seeing the festivities before the game. And yes, ladies, you're all 10s.
Ground ball right side. Ugla. High throw to second. The Braves force Duda. Good play by Dan, though, to get the leading runner. Baxter hit that ball hard.
And it pulled Dan out over his front foot, so he had a lot of work to do to get his feet under him to make that throw, and made a good one.
Seems to me the better the shortstop, the better Dan plays second base. What a luxury he has had in watching Paul Janisch and Andrelton Simmons dance around the second base bag as his shortstop partner. A strike to Josh Thole. He lined out to Simmons back in the 3rd inning for New York.
Cardinals wound up with 5 runs in the first. 5-1.
Washington won 3 of the first 4 against the Cardinals this season. It's 6 home runs in that 4-game series back at Nationals Park. Good news at Busch Stadium. Good news here in Atlanta, where the Braves lead the Mets in the middle innings 1-0 on a Freeman homer. Runner goes. Ross's throw is right on the money and in time. Woo! That was a laser. David Ross comes down Mike Baxter, and the Braves are out of the top of the 5th inning. Tough pitch to handle and what a throw. Time for our Crown Royal game summary as the Braves are up for the bottom of the 5th inning.
Only run of the game, that Freddie Freeman solo shot in the 4th. But a little defensive help just now on our Home Depot tools from the dugout. What a throw by David Ross. And as you said, Chip, a tough pitch to throw on. Down and into the lefty, had to shift his feet. Now, if you're Andrelton Simmons, just don't move your glove. Just catch it and leave it there, and that's what he did. That was on the money.
Yeah, his mechanics are so good. That's picture perfect right there.
Beautiful.
So Tim Hudson starts the 5th inning for Atlanta, and he pumps in a quick strike. Scorched foul past 3rd. He just missed a double. Up the middle. Nice play, Murphy. And Ike Davis handles it first. 1 out.
Almost got it by him. And he was looking for his 13th hit of the year. He's got 3 doubles.
Ray Johnson 0 for 2 in the game. 2 ground balls to short. And he takes a called strike.
It's funny, when Tim hit that ground ball, though, I heard somebody in the ballpark yelling, "Easy."
Yes, he's here.
He's here.
That, of course, would be Bobby Cox, as Johnson tries Murphy at second. And he's 0 for 3. 2 outs. Said it a couple of years ago when Bobby was still managing the club. He would stand right by our camera position down the first base line, and we always had a microphone right there. You could listen to him talk about the game all game long and knew exactly what was going on. Freddie does it too, but he's strategically away from the microphone.
Yeah, Bobby was always the biggest cheerleader on the team.
A strike to Martin, who's flied to left. He's flied to center. For some reason, the Mets, one team in the division that's given Prado some trouble at the plate. Martin's 12 for 57 this year against Mets pitching. He has knocked in 10 runs, though. They've pitched him tough. 2 balls and a strike as we approach 9 o'clock.
Jonathan Nies was born to be a Met. Literally. He was born on the day the Mets won the World Championship in 1986.
And he issues his second walk of the game. As Joe said, he seldom walks anyone. Just 23 walks now in his last 20 starts, including tonight's play. So Jason Hayward hits before a packed house. Friday Night Braves baseball on Peachtree TV is presented by Blimpie.
Collins has had a challenging year, but he's done a good job at this club. A team that nobody picked at the beginning of the year to do anything. And even as late as the All-Star break, a little beyond the All-Star break, they were certainly a valid contender.
Yeah, they were 46-40 at one point. And Collins, with that good play by the Mets, had to be a strong candidate for Manager of the Year in the National League. But since then, they're 26-44, and as we talked about earlier, their pitching, other than Nies and R.A. Dickey, really melted down, and their bullpen has had some issues too. No trouble for Nies in the Atlanta fifth. He trails by a run, and it hits second when we move to inning number 6. Another unforgettable moment in Chipper Jones' career.
That was a little different reception for a walk-off winner than we've been seeing here in recent years. Saw Clarence Jones in that shot, former hitting coach for the Braves. He was at the ballpark a couple of nights ago. Good to see CJ.
Simmons takes care of Tolley. One away in the 6th, and time for our Academy Sports and Outdoor leaderboard. Chipper Jones, Atlanta Braves all-time ranks.
Well, let's see. Well, that's pretty simple. All in one uniform. Pretty cool.
Nies sacrificed in the 3rd for New York. And takes a strike from Tim Hudson, who is pitching a beautiful game so far tonight.
I liked what Derek Jeter said in the pregame ceremony. They had a video tape from him, and I can't remember, I can't quote it, but something about when he thinks of Chipper Jones, he thinks Braves. I mean, he just fits in the Atlanta Braves uniform. That's where he's supposed to be.
Yeah, so he looks like a ball player, acts like a ball player, and is an Atlanta Brave, or something to that extent.
Yeah. Well, that was a huge compliment.
Two balls, 2 strikes. To second. Aguilar's got it. Here is that Derek Jeter quote.
Chipper looks like a baseball player, man. I mean, it just looks like this is what he's supposed to be doing. The way he carries himself, the way he runs, the way he feels, the way he throws, the way he swings. He looks like just the definition of a baseball player. And more importantly, he looks like an Atlanta Brave. I mean, that's the first thing that comes to mind when you think about Chipper Jones.
Takes one to know one, huh? Same thing about Derek Jeter. Couldn't imagine him playing for somebody else beyond the Yankees.
I think that's the ultimate compliment, though, from any of your peers, is for somebody to say you just look like a ball player. You do everything like a ball player.
How often have we said that about Martin Prado this year and in previous seasons too? There's a strike to Ruben Tejada. 1 ball, 1 strike, your count. Tim Hudson scattered 3 singles tonight. The Mets have left but 1 man on base. And in a season full of remarkable stories, I think, fellas, it's safe to say Tim Hudson's is one of them too. Remember, he didn't start a game until late April. Missed almost the entire first month of the season for the Braves. Yet here he is with a chance to win his 17th game.
Yeah, you can't help but think that had he had that month back, that he'd be knocking on 20 win, knocking on the door.
Well, the other side of that is all the innings he didn't pitch in April might have his arm a little fresher here in September and October. Do you buy that?
Yeah, to some extent. I mean, you know, he still pitched a lot of innings and been through the grind. So, but yeah, I mean, if you can save 30 innings here or there, yeah, it's going to help you somewhere along the line.
Right down Peachtree. Tejada took a call, 3rd strike. 3 up, 3 down. Middle of the order for the Braves in the 6th. It starts with Chipper as the Braves lead 1-0. Night for perfect 10s. And these are McDonald's fans of the game on Chipper Jones night. On cue, he leads off the 6th. Get used to seeing the flash bulbs popping, folks. We're going to see that all weekend, and hopefully a good long time in October.
Still get a little nervous when your kid's at bat. Doesn't matter if it's little league or not.
David Wright at 3rd. Long throw gets Chipper at 1st. And there's out number 1. Chipper 0 for 3 tonight.
But on our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot, this ball club has suffered the brunt of Chipper's damage. 1999 is NL MVP season, 12 games, 7 homers and 16 RBIs, 6 for 7 with runners in scoring position against them, and 2 of those hits were homers. Excuse me, 3 of them were homers.
And a big reason why he won MVP that year, because if there was any doubt, to do that kind of damage against a New York team in front of those sports writers, that's only going to help your cause.
Yep.
And when we were up at Citi Field, Chipper was really great in his press conference for that final series. In his best Vinny from New York accent, they asked him, you know, what's the reception you get? And Chipper said, well, he didn't really range too far from the hotel in his early days in New York, but lately he's come to embrace the city. They'd all walk up to him. Yo, Chipper. Toward first, where Ike Davis is standing and makes the play for the second out. Cardinals really pouring it on at home over Washington. Might be looking at a 3-game deficit at the start of play tomorrow, but our lead here in Atlanta is only 1-0.
And a long way to go there too. That Washington team. Their offense has been clicking.
Cool story developing in Pittsburgh tonight, where the Reds going after their 95th win tonight. Homer Bailey is in the 8th inning with a no-hitter against the Pirates.
Yeah, and a 1-0 game.
A.J. Burnett's pitching for Pittsburgh tonight.
Yeah, he's having a hard time even enjoying that. Game's too close.
Dan's been on base twice tonight. He's walked in the second. He's singled in the 4th inning.
A.J. Burnett's had a great year for the Pirates. That was a wonderful pickup for them. He was 16-8 going into the game tonight.
Dan was ready to take first base. 3 balls and a strike. Agla earns another walk.
Wow.
Boy, Nice has walked 3 men. Wonder when he's last done that. All season long, Braves baseball on Peachtree TV is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price every day.
Got a shot of Freddie Gonzalez a minute ago, and one of the things that struck me during Chipper's speech tonight was that he's been so fortunate in this age of sports where there's so much turnover and coaching and front office personnel that he's played. In his 19 years, he's played for 2 managers and 2 general managers. That's unheard of this day and age.
High pop fly into left center field. Hairston is there. And he's got it to retire the side. Braves threaten, fail to score in the 6th. And the heart of the Mets order's coming up against Tim Hudson as the Braves lead 1-0.
Braves baseball brought to you by Jamieson Inn, ranked #1 in customer satisfaction nationwide year after year. Experience all the comfort and amenities you expect at an unexpectedly low price. Jamieson Inn, Southern hospitality at its best.
7th inning, Braves and Tim Hudson lead 1-0. Freddie Freeman hit a 4th inning homer. That's accounted for all of tonight's offense. And time for our AT&T U-verse trivia question. Who was the last Braves player to wear number 10 before Chipper Jones? I think Joe knows this one.
Joe knows.
Teacher.
A line drive by Murphy into the left field corner. And he's going to have a leadoff double in the Mets 7th. Told you at the start of the broadcast, the 1, 2, 3 hitters for the Mets have been awfully hot. Hudson had them cooled off until Murphy doubled to start the frame.
Yeah, this guy's hit .330 over his last 26 games, so a pretty good stretch for him. And going the other way against Tim to get a good inning started, perhaps for the Mets.
So we'll let Joe hold his answer until we're ready to answer the question. Here's David Wright. Let's see what he can do. He is struck out, popped out. And a ball low, 1 ball, no strikes.
Thanks to a double play and David Ross's throw to second base. 5 of the first 6 innings, Tim's only faced the minimum number of hitters, 3 batters in 5 out of 6.
Second Met runner to reach second base tonight. And right inside outs this ball to right. Jason Heyward dives. Did he catch it? He did. But tagging on the play was Murphy. And is Heyward hurt?
No, he's not. And he can't be.
Can't be. Not allowed.
Maybe just knocked the wind out of himself making that great diving catch.
That kind of play might somehow allow Tim Hudson to get out of this inning without giving up the run. Good job by David Wright to go the other way. What a play. Wow.
So Ross and Hudson discuss strategy. Your option would be put Davis on and think about a double play with Hairston. Davis leads their club in homers with 31.
I don't put him on right away.
I don't either.
With Huddy being who he is, between the strikeout and the ground out, I think you got 2 ways you can get him out without having that run score. You give him a shot at it, and if he gets behind the count, you want to walk him, then you go ahead and do it.
He's had a base hit tonight, but both balls that he's hit have been hit virtually the same place. Only the Braves put an extra move on him for the shift last time up, so he hit it right to Simmons. But he did hit both balls on the ground.
The Braves are going to play with the infield in here for Davis. Murphy at third with 1 out. 1-0 Braves lead. We're in the 7th.
To get him to chase something out of the zone. Not offering yet.
Good patience by Davis. 3 balls, no strikes.
And now they will put him on.
You 2 gentlemen were correct. They didn't put him on initially, but it is an intentional walk. And now a double play in order if Hudson can get Hairston to hit the ball on the ground.
10 double plays hit into for Hairston. David Wright leads their team with 14. It's funny, I don't think of him as a ground ball hitter either. I think of him as a guy who likes to try to lift the ball, and he's had a career year home run wise with 19, but has always been a good situational hitter. We'll see if he's able to come through here.
That's swept outside and low. 1 ball, no strikes. Chipper 2 strides off the third base line. Freeman holds Davis at first. Murphy, the tying runner, 90 feet away at third. And Hairston swinging for the fences.
One of his best fastballs tonight, 91. It's a little bit like the one he threw to Hada that he got a called third strike on in the last inning.
Got him set up now. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Breaking ball off the plate. What do you think?
I like breaking ball off the plate. Either get him to chase it and swing and miss, or chase it and hit a ground ball.
There you go.
Oh. He gave us what we wanted.
Yes, he did. He heard us.
That was awfully close. I got to actually say I don't think he went. Hard as it is for me to say that.
You try it again?
I stay out there. I know he likes to throw that front door breaking ball sometimes for a strikeout, but in this situation that's a dangerous pitch, because if you don't locate it for the strikeout, it's a pitch that they're much more likely to get in the air and get into the outfield.
I like that high fastball again. Elevate it, see if it'll chase up out of the zone a little.
2-2. Straw came out with the heat. 2 down.
I'm not sure that's where he wanted it, but it worked.
It don't matter. That's where it ended up, and we got the result we wanted. Yeah, he was trying to go down and away again, but he missed up and in. It's like we used to say, if you're going to miss high, miss higher than high, and that one was higher than high and tough to lay off, and Hairston couldn't do anything with it if he did put any wood on it.
Great job by Huddy.
But he's not out of trouble yet. First and third, 2 outs for Lucas Duda, who singled last time up. Infield backs up now with the second out.
Now this is where you got to kind of get your emotions in check now. You got that big strikeout. Got that 2 out situation now where an out gets you out of the inning, but you got to A, hold back the emotions and try not to get there too quickly, and B, don't let yourself fall into the, well, I got the big second out, now the inning's over. You still got to make a pitch.
Well, tie inside corner.
Duda's going to get one of those 2-seamers. I'm not sure when. Maybe for the strike 2 pitch, but he's going to get one sooner or later in this at bat. Well, he is airing out some 4-seamers. 90 and 91 all inning.
Well, he can do whatever he wants now. I think he was trying to throw that sinker there, Joe, and he missed over the plate a little bit with it, so he could go back to it and hit his spot this time, or start it in there and throw that slider that goes to his back foot and get him swing over the top of it. Or he could throw another high fastball or a backdoor slider or whatever. I mean, whatever he feels like virtually right here. Because you know, in Duda's mind, he's still thinking about that sinker coming back.
You bet.
The crowd will tell you the result. Pop fly headed for the seats. And Duda's still alive.
It's what David Ross wanted, but again, his location was off, and it was off enough that all he could do was foul it off. Well, that one was really moving too.
Yeah, sometimes your location's off a little bit as a result of having a little bit more movement, and to your point earlier, that sinker seems to be back for him. So when he is missing, it's missing because he's running so much, which is not a bad thing.
And Ross asks for time. For the fans, they may wonder, what's Hudson doing with that fake to third, fake to first play? I'm guessing Tommy wasn't sure what he wanted to do with Ross, but also a young hitter who's squeezing the sawdust out of the bat handle in this critical run scoring situation.
I don't think it's any of that. I think he's just doing it because he's not going to be able to do it next year. So he wanted to get out of the way.
He's got some saved up.
Hadn't thought of that.
No, he's trying to catch one of those runners leaning a little bit.
1-2. You want playoff situations? What we're seeing now.
What was David Ross? Was that a fastball away that he called for there? I kind of got in on
I didn't see it. I was
at the end of the sign. And it may go to what you're saying, Tom. His ball's moving so much, he's just trying to throw it to the middle of the plate and then
let it go where it wants.
Go, yeah.
Wouldn't mind seeing him take a shot with that slider now.
Got him to move his feet, but missed inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
If he's got any confidence in his backdoor slider right here, I think it's a good call.
Missed outside.
I think that was supposed to be a cutter and it didn't cut.
Didn't cut, yep. Tried to throw it a little too hard.
He wants a fastball up again.
Davis will move from first. And Duda was right on it, but fouled it straight back. Fly ball well hit to right, and that one is going to go. A 9-pitch at bat, and Lucas Duda just hit a 3-run homer.
Supposed to be a sinker away. See the target. The location was up and not in enough to get away with it.
So the Mets strike for 3 with 2 outs in the 7th and lead 3-1 now for Mike Baxter. And now the ground ball to second will end the 7th inning. Great at bat by Duda. He hit a Hudson mistake a mile into the seats in right. And now the Braves bats have to go to work. They're down 3-1. There's public enemy number 1 tonight, Lucas Duda. As you see on our Blimpie game summary, has the big hit of the game.
Braves got a big hit from Freddie Freeman in the 4th inning that gave them a 1-0 lead. He had just missed a home run his previous at bat, driving Duda back to the wall in left field. This time Freddie clears the right field fence, his 23rd homer of the year and his 94th RBI. But just moments ago, after a lengthy at bat, Lucas Duda connected for a 3-run homer to turn the game around. His 15th of the year.
So now the Braves offense has to get to work. Braves have only 4 hits through 6 at-bats tonight. And Andrelton Simmons has one of them, an infield single in the 2nd inning. Slow roller hit toward third. David Wright charges. Bare hand play and a beauty. And Simmons is out number 1.
Watch his little hop he took right there to make sure he had the footwork right when he went down to pick up the ball barehanded. Nice play.
So the night is over for Tim Hudson. Tyler Pasternacky will pinch hit. Tyler 4 for 19 with a pinch hit homer this year. And that 4 for 19 mark is overall pinch hitting. Offensive line. He's piled up a lot of pitches early in the game. The only man to touch him was Freddie Freeman, who homered in the 4th inning.
Got another
6 men.
Sorry, Chip. Another 6 innings and another quality start.
Yeah, I like this kid. I like his stuff. I like his makeup. Seems when you look at his numbers over the last couple years and then even this year, he's starting to figure things out a little bit.
Well, he's walked 3 tonight, and to give you an example of how good his control has been, he only walked 3 total in the month of July.
Masternicki shoots one to the right side, but Murphy is there. 2 outs. And we go back to the top and Reed Johnson. Either way, that game in Pittsburgh is a final. Homer Bailey did finish off the no-hitter.
Good for him.
10 strikeouts as he wins his 13th game, and the Reds beat Pittsburgh 1-0 at PNC Park.
I guess he will be their first starter in the postseason then.
I think they've only used 6 starters this year. The Reds.
Oh, that's unheard of.
Don't know that for sure, and I believe that extra start was in a makeup doubleheader. They brought up, was it Todd Redmond, I think?
Right.
Came up and started.
I think they're the only team in baseball that has used that number.
And is that a luxury in this day and age? You can keep it to 5 or even 6 starters for the course of the year.
One ball, 2 strikes for Reed Johnson.
Well, if that score in St. Louis falls, that'll tie them for the best record.
Fly to left. And that retires the Braves in order in the 7th inning. Jonathan Niese pitching a gem. He leads 3-1 over Tim Hudson, and he's due second in the Mets 8th. Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you in part by Crown Royal, by Checkers, by Toyota, and by Academy Sports and Outdoors. 3-1's your score. 2 more home games left in regular season play at Turner Field. You'll see them on our Jamison and upcoming schedule.
Chris Young and Mike Minor go at it tomorrow. Mike has fought his way back to a 500 record. Has a chance to climb over that mark tomorrow.
Yeah, it's been a nice turnaround for him.
Chris Medlin back at it on Sunday. His last start in the regular season against Henry Mejia.
Well said.
I wanted to say I'm Henry VIII. I am.
Please do not. You'll be banned from the booth. As you see our AT&T call to the bullpen, Christian Martinez.
2 weeks without pitching, and now back-to-back nights for Christian, who had a 3-up and 3-down inning last night in the 9th, including a couple of comebackers.
Ground ball to second off the bat of Josh Thole, the Mets catcher. 1 up, 1 down. Niese is scheduled. Looks like they're going to pinch hit Jordany Valdespin. And that's who it is. This guy's had a terrific year off the bench for the Mets. A lot of home runs.
I guess if there's one thing on Niese that all those pitches added up to is the fact that it gets him out of there, and they don't have their closer. Frank Francisco's been shut down for the rest of the year with some arm trouble. So we'll see who they use tonight at the end of the game.
Maybe Bobby Parnell, who's really started to pitch good baseball in September. Braves have hit him hard, so we'll see how the last 2 innings wrap up for the Mets pitching staff.
Got John Roush down there too.
Big John Roush.
Big John Roush.
Valdespin has 8 pinch hits this year, 5 of them home runs. For New York. And he takes inside ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. And a 4-pitch walk.
Fans, it's time to cheer on your Atlanta Braves in October as they play in the NL wildcard game Friday, October the 5th at Turner Field. You can order Braves postseason ticket strips and individual game tickets right now at braves.com/postseason.
That game is for sure unless the Braves overtake the Nationals. And tonight they've got to overtake the Mets.
It has to be a tough pill to swallow for Atlanta, especially knowing that the Cardinals are up 9-1 over Washington in St. Louis at the start of that weekend series. Tim Hudson pitched a beautiful ball game, had Lucas Duda 1 ball 2 strikes. Got to a full count, and then Duda parked one in right for a 3-run shot. However, in the 8th, the Braves will have Prado, Hayward, Chipper, and Freeman scheduled. So still a ways to go tonight. But Christian Martinez has to throw some strikes. He's missed with 6 in a row. Record-setting crowd tonight at the ballpark. 51,910. It's the 7th largest crowd ever in Turner Field history and the 9th largest crowd ever for an Atlanta Braves game.
And they've been into it. They've been very vocal all night long. It's just that home run by Duda took a little steam out of everybody. Got to get some offense going next inning, the bottom of this inning.
With a big crowd tonight, the Braves jump over the 2.3 million mark in attendance this season, with 2 more big crowds expected tomorrow night and then again Sunday. If you are coming to the ballpark, make sure you have your advanced parking passes. If you don't have one of those, take MARTA and get here early. The crowds are going to be very, very big. In fact, standing room only tickets are available for the last 2 games of this series here against the Mets. Three balls and a strike. Tejada launches one toward the gap in left center. That's going to get down between Johnson and Prado, and that's going to bounce over the fence, and that's a big break. Valdespin will have to stop at third base. Otherwise, he would have scored. It's a ground rule double, and the Mets have runners at second and third with 1 out.
And Christian Martinez doesn't have it tonight. A walk, 6 straight balls at one period, and now one that changeup let her high. That's 10 straight now for Tejada in his hitting streak.
1 runner for third, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, 1 home run. He threw 112 pitches, 41 balls, 7
The Braves will walk Murphy. They'll load the bases for David Wright. and hope for a double play ball to get out of the inning.
Corey Guerin is up in the Braves pen.
It had been 15 days between relief assignments for Christian Martinez, as Joe said last night. Before last night's game, he last pitched September 12th, and now back-to-back games. So he finds himself in big trouble here in the inning. Murphy's at first, and Freddie Gonzalez is on his way out. Christian Martinez goes a third of an inning, walks 2, gives up 1 hit, and leaves with the bases loaded. And David Wright, the Mets RBI leader, striding to the batter's box. 3-1 is our score. Our 8th inning continues after this. Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you in part by Hyundai, by the Home Depot, by Blimpie, and by Georgia Power. There's your game situation. New York has the bases loaded with 1 out in the 8th inning. Corey Guerin answers the AT&T call to the bullpen, and the Braves are banking on him getting a ground ball from David Wright here.
Better be careful on the first pitch. RBI situations. David Wright is going after you early in the count. Corey hasn't worked in a week. His last effort was against the Washington Nationals, or excuse me, against at Washington on the 21st.
Wright's the Mets team leader in double plays. He's wrapped into 14 of them. First pitch, broken bat, Chipper at the bag, steps on it, throws to first, double play.
I had an idol growing up, and I had no idea what Chipper's background was. My idol growing up, I had 2 idols, Whitey Ford and Mickey Mantle. All right? Mm-hmm. Tom Glavine was Whitey Ford. Mm-hmm. Chipper Jones was Mickey Mantle. Mm-hmm. And even when Chipper would hit a home run and round the bases, or the way he, he reminded me of Mickey Mantle. And I thought to myself, you know what, if he even accomplishes anything that Mickey Mantle accomplished, I mean, he's going to be one of the greatest switch hitters of all time. He surpassed all of it. I mean, the greatest Atlanta Brave of all time. Hank Aaron, the greatest Brave of all time. Chipper Jones, the greatest Atlanta Brave of all time.
Not much you can add to that.
No, that was great from Leo. Excellent.
Yeah, very good. For Leo, I mean, that was good for Leo.
Well, no, that was a good comparison for both of you.
Yeah, I'll tell you, anytime I can be compared to Whitey Ford, that's a good thing.
I think he was talking about your hair, too.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty sure.
Well, that's all right, too. I mean, I'm getting old, and I got a bunch of kids at home. My hair's getting gray.
Couple changes for the Mets as we head to the last of the 8th inning. Andres Torres takes over in center field. And former Brave Manny Acosta's on to pitch. 2, 3, and 4 up for the Braves, who have 6 outs left, down 3-1. This has been a huge Achilles heel for the Mets all season. Not just Acosta's ugly numbers, but the Mets have the worst relief ERA in baseball as a team. But 2 quick strikes has Prado behind the count. But 3 pitches ends Prado's at bat. 1 away in the 8th.
On any given night, Manny Acosta can blow you away. Throws 94, 95. And if he's throwing strikes, he can be awfully tough. Especially if he only has to face one guy.
Yeah, exactly.
So Acosta takes care of Prado. Jason Hayward will stand in, and the Mets go deeper into their bullpen. Base is clear for the Braves with 1 out in the 8th inning. A little history for the playoff-bound Cincinnati Reds tonight in Pittsburgh.
Popped him up. Phillips going out. Phillips has it, and Homer Bailey becomes only the 15th pitcher in the long history of Cincinnati Reds baseball to throw a no-hitter. He does it here tonight on this September the 28th, 2012.
That's pretty amazing. The Reds, the oldest professional team in baseball, and they've had but 15 no-hitters.
How about those numbers? 1 walk, 10 punch-outs. What a great night for him.
Yeah. Based on the 10 punch-outs, sounds like he had no-hit stuff, and he took advantage of it.
So Justin Hampson checks into the game for New York. He's seen some major league experience. He debuted way back in 2006. He's pitched with the Padres, the Rockies, and now with the Mets, where he's done good work in the pen.
Not overpowering by comparison to a lot of guys coming out of various bullpens these days. His fastball in the upper 80s, but mostly a slider ball pitcher to lefties when he comes in. I see Chipper come up with a chance to tie it up.
Two balls, 2 strikes at the 10 o'clock hour at Turner Field. Somehow Jason able to stay alive.
Just need a base runner anyway, anyhow.
That's foul at first. And Jason's still alive. Two and two for number 22. Strike 3 inside corner. Jason couldn't pull the trigger, and is the second out.
Take another look here, but it looked like a good pitch because he was trying to dive across the plate and cover the outside corner. Kind of tied himself up in doing so. I don't know. He did curve around the plate.
I couldn't pull the trigger, and I was hoping Kerwin Danley wouldn't either, but
yeah.
So Chipper's up. He's 0 for 3 on his special night tonight. Now a ball and 2 strikes. Hot shot toward Davis at first, and that will retire the Braves in the 8th inning. On we go to the 9th. New York 3, Atlanta 1. Ninth inning. It's a 3-1 New York lead. Lucas Duda hit a huge home run for the Mets, and he's due up third this inning. Chipper Jones tonight is 0 for 4. The Braves had some early chances against Jonathan Nice, but have left 6 men on base and have managed to put 4 hits. And no hits since the 4th inning tonight. But they've got 3 outs left. And they'll start the 9th with Ike Davis facing Corey Guerin. Play, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
What a good pitch Corey made last inning to get that double play ball from David Wright. I mean, there's tailor-made double play balls, and then there's tailor-made double play balls where the third baseman can just glove the ball, step on the bag, and throw. That was perfect.
Low 2-2 your count. Another great race in the American League involves the Orioles. Yankees can't shake them in the East, and Baltimore won again tonight. They started play a game behind New York in the Eastern Division as Davis is down on strikes. Right now the wild card teams in the American League would be the Orioles and Oakland, and I don't think anybody saw that coming at the start of the year.
Nope.
And you've got the Tigers and White Sox separated by 2 games now in the American League Central. Joe knows the answer to our AT&T Uverse trivia question. Name the last Brave to wear number 10 before Chipper had it.
I'm going to give you boys a chance, or you can allow me to tell you, and you can join me, whatever you want to do.
I believe there's a catcher somewhere in Minnesota that
yes, sir,
thinks his number was painted on the field tonight.
Yes, he does. And he's quite upset. Greg Olson.
Scott Hairston started the game in center, moved to left, and is down a strike. Let's see if Joe's right.
What do you mean, Joe? Got it? Believe it?
Now, we saw some video earlier tonight of Chipper's first base hit.
Right.
He was not wearing number 10.
No, it's funny. It's funny because I looked at that and I was thinking, gosh, who wore 10 before he did? And when Gretchen asked, I remembered.
Chipper was wearing number 16 when he first came up.
I'm surprised Gretchen didn't ask who wore 16 before Chipper did.
Now that I would have no idea.
I want to say Rafael Ramirez.
Yeah.
As Scott Hairston shoots one to left, and that's out number 2.
And had she asked who wore what Chipper's first number was when he came to the big leagues, I would have never guessed 16. I forgot all about that.
Fred Lewis will grab a bat, and he hits for Duda. Pitcher's spot was up for Duda here. So Duda out of the game. The spot occupied by Hampson. Did a good job in relief, so It is Fred Lewis with the bases clear and 2 out. And he swings at the first pitch and rolls to short. Corey Guerin's done some impressive relief pitching tonight. Gets the Mets in order, 1-2-3 in the 9th. Braves country, get on your rally caps. Atlanta's down 2 runs in the 9th. What do you do here? 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, runner at first.
Whatever your best pitch is, you got to throw it.
Swing drive, right center field. The Braves have won
it. You know, Chipper's always tried real hard to stay out of the middle of those mosh pits, but he wanted right in the center of that one.
What an unbelievable game. So the Braves have some 9th inning hope as Turner Field is chopping away, and Bobby Parnell is the man on to pitch for New York. The last time we saw Bobby Parnell, Joe, came up in New York, the final game of the road portion of the schedule between the Braves and Mets, and Parnell gave up a 10th inning run to Atlanta that proved to be the difference in the game.
But since then he's been very good, and he can throw 95 to 100, getting an opportunity to be their closer in the absence of Francisco.
Jason Bay takes over in left field for New York as Freeman, Uggla, and Ross are scheduled in the Atlanta 9th.
I think this guy's just beginning to get it. The knock on him has been that his fastball is very straight. Even at 95 to 100, hitters catch up to it.
Well, if you can locate it and you can mix in something off speed every now and then you got a better chance of getting away with it.
In September, Parnell's allowed 1 earned run in 11 innings. That's a 0.82 ERA. And he's ahead of Freeman, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Already homered tonight. And he strikes out for out number 1. Game 2 of the series is here tomorrow night. Our Chevron upcoming starting pitchers for the Braves. It features a resurgent Mike Minor. Here's Uggla. 2 walks and a single for Dan tonight. That scatters the Mets in their dugout. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Braves been waiting all week for the Nationals to stub their toe, and looks like they're 2 outs away from being able to take advantage of it.
Fly ball toward Bay and left, but Jason catches up to it. And now the Braves down to their last out. David Ross will be the Atlanta hitter. And the Braves don't have a hit since the 4th inning. Dan Uggla's single. In fact, they've had just a couple of base runners. So Ross 0 for 3. Little broken bat pop out towards second, and Murphy's got it. And the New York Mets spoiled Chipper Jones night tonight at Turner Field. They beat the Braves 3-1, your final score. Lucas Duda hit a long home run and turned the game around with one swing of the bat. And that's our Toyota play of the game.
What a shame, too. Tim Hudson trying to pitch out of a bases-loaded jam and made some really good pitches prior to the home run to strike out Hairston. But Duda, give him credit. He fought off several good pitches and then connected.
So game one of the series goes to the Mets. 3-1 our final. Back with more in a moment.